Hi, I'm Roelof and Dijk, Executive Director of the Real Estate Forums with Informa, and welcome to 10 Minutes with Wayne Tuck, Senior Director of Residential for Yardi Canada. Housing affordability, both for sale and lease, is a key issue facing many Canadians and Canadian households, and governments at all levels have been paying attention, some more than others, to this issue and are talking about ways to deal with this issue of housing unaffordability, I guess. And although housing prices are no longer moving up, higher interest rates are still making mortgage payments unaffordable for many. And this is kind of keeping one of the reasons people are being forced to stay in the rental market because they can't move into the housing market. And with high immigration and limited new supply, it's no surprise that rental rates continue to increase as well. So Yardi is probably better known for property management software and services, which helps your clients, Wayne, optimize their operations. But you also put out a Canadian national multifamily report, and we've seen the recent one for Q4 2023. So maybe first, I'll ask you to highlight exactly how Yardi is able to collect all this data in the report. How does it make this a unique perspective on the multifamily market compared to data that we see from other sources like MLS rent data or CMHC or what have you?
Yeah, we started the reports. I guess, we're into our second year of reporting now. We received a number of requests from clients, from government agencies, from associations, because access to information about the rental market in Canada is pretty thin. Our client is, our data is live client data, which we aggregate and anonymize for reporting. This is different than with CMHC data, for example, which comes in part from survey responses. So we're extremely comfortable with the reliability of the data. With a shift in our sampling to include properties with greater than 10 units, there are now approximately 464,000 units and 5,100 properties represented in our sample. That's about 21% of the purpose-built apartment universe nationally. And this is the first report where we've added bedroom type data for key metrics by CMA. So we're very excited. Each release brings heightened attention to our report, and we field more and more questions each time we put it out.
Interesting. So yeah, this is like live on the ground data, so that's really good. And I imagine this shows up in your data as well. I mean, low vacancy rates, massive issue, rising rents, being discussed in the media and show up in the MLS data, like I said, and in your data now. But how's the multifamily market actually performing across Canada? Are there any specific hot or hotter areas, any areas that we should be aware of that maybe are showing signs of concern? And what are those concerns?
Yeah, I wouldn't say concern. I mean, overall, obviously, we've got a housing shortage. You touched on it, housing supply issue in the country right now. Two current hot spots are Alberta and Saskatchewan, with increasing rates and declining vacancies. Alberta's population increased by 184,000 year over year, or 4.1%, which was the highest of all the provinces. I think there's been a disconnect, I would say, between immigration policy and housing policy, which has kind of led to the crunch that we're in right now. We've also seen a great deal of movement over the last year, perhaps year and a half, out of urban centers and into tertiary markets, as people have taken work from home to more affordable locations. So we see people moving out of the GTA and moving west and heading to Kitchener, Cambridge, London, as an example, where they can find housing much cheaper than they can in the GTA. And with work from home, they've got the flexibility and the ability to be able to do that.
And so I guess when we're talking about affordable rents, you keep hearing about new lease rates, new rental rates, and how ridiculously high those are. And then you get folks in the media that are commenting on those annual increases. But it's probably more important for folks that have been in rental for a while to look at the existing lease rates, and especially from a portfolio perspective, as a landlord, you're looking at your portfolio and looking at your existing lease rates and how those are moving. So talk to me maybe about the in-place rents versus new lease rents. The increases, I imagine, are very different, and where do you see that going?
Yeah, the obviously supply issue, it's simple fundamentals, right? Supply and demand. So with the supply issue, that we have currently in the country, it's driven up pricing for available units and new leases. I would say until we see substantive gains in supply, we're going to continue to see increasing rents for new leases. There are rent controls in most jurisdictions in Canada outside of Alberta and Saskatchewan as a couple of examples. So increases are for the most part tied to that, as in-place rent is a mix of new leases, net new leases, and existing. So while new lease rent growth is 13%, if you look at our most recent report, overall lease growth is 6% nationally. So your in place, I would say primarily now is driven by net new leases. The ability to drive your in place rents, I think is shrinking because we're seeing less and less turnover as well. So there's less opportunity for landlords, property owners, and managers in the country.
And I guess on that point of turnover, where is turnover trending? I mean, how is it compared over the last few years, and how is this impacting landlords?
Low turnover simply reflects a lack of viable choice for households in a market where affordability is an issue. Folks simply don't have anywhere to go, so they're staying put. We've seen declining turnover for some time and expect it to continue to decline. In obviously for our clients in the multifamily side of things, if they're looking at opportunities for rent growth, they will look at repositioning opportunities. And those opportunities are narrowing as well as turnover declines, because you just don't have people moving out that puts you in a place where you can turn those units over, get perhaps a slightly improved product that will generate some additional revenue opportunities. So declining turnover will lead to fewer opportunities, I think, overall. So the real consideration is around supply.
Okay. And I imagine, even the tenants, looking to stay in the same place to avoid having sticker shock on finding a new place in a much higher rent there. So yeah, no, this has been really informative. Thank you very much, Wayne. And I imagine anyone interested in following up can visit the Yardi website at www.yardi.com to learn more and download the report.
That's correct. And they can get access to historical reports as well. It is something that we put out on the quarter. I think some of the other reports that you'll see, certainly CMHC is a national report that's produced annually. So our clients and the industry in general have taken an interest in it because we update it on the quarter. So look forward to what insights we get from the next quarter and the next report.
Timely data is key, right? Perfect. Thank you very much for joining me for 10 minutes with Wayne Tuck, Senior Director of Residential for Yardi Canada. Thank you.
My pleasure, Roelof. Thank you very much.